Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips on Instagram with a Z. Pothead Picker on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. And then there's the Flips and Giggles page on Facebook. It's a new year. We're on to the next year. I feel like I forgot something in that intro. Subscribe and like. Get the podcast wherever podcasts are. Still not on video. I'm sorry, I suck. Working on it. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of getting over being sick. I was gonna do the podcast earlier in the week, but I had like no voice. It was like it sounded kind of cool, but it probably would have sucked trying to get through the whole podcast. So I had to stop every 2 seconds to like drink water and shit. Now it kind of sounds worse than it is. So it's not as bad. Had to go to the doctor today because my kid's she's not like sick. She hasn't had a fever or anything like that, but she just has not, this cough will not stop and go away. And, we didn't check her for COVID. It's like, what's the fucking point? She didn't have a fever. I don't even know what the symptoms for COVID are anymore. I think anytime you get sick, people are like, did you check for COVID? It's like, no, it's fucking, what is checking her for COVID gonna do? She's fucking 2 years old. You know what I mean? She's not going anywhere without me. Like, just won't take her. Like, I don't know what the fuck. But anyway, so yeah, everybody else was like sick. And so my kid just has this lingering, I still have like the sniffles and shit. But anyway, yeah, New Year's, so the last podcast we did, I think, was like the Christmas one. That one came out on Christmas Eve. So I was trying to get one out like right around New Year's, but we probably could have done a New Year's Eve podcast because we got back and we went to dinner at like 4:35. We went to a Mexican restaurant. That was actually fun. And then we came back and like we were home pretty early, not like pretty early, but like earlier than we normally. Like the girls usually go upstairs around 7:30 for bed, like once we finish dinner and all that stuff. So we got back around 7, so they had like a half hour to kind of kill. So we brought everything in, got set up, and then we this like sound is on. Hold on a second. And then we so we got them in, brought in, like got everything set up, and then we put on like on YouTube they have these like different length time countdowns for the clock or what the fuck am I saying? For the countdown, the ball drop or whatever the fuck they call it, the New Year's Eve countdown. So there's like a 10-minute dance party one for kids, and it just like plays videos and like dance music that's like okay for kids, I guess. I don't even remember what it was. So we had like a little dance party for like 10 minutes, and then we did the fake like ball drop and let them watch like 2 episodes of Bluey. Bluey's a good show for like if you're like, all right, they're like, I want one more episode, you'd be like, all right, then it's gonna be Bluey. You know what I mean? Because Bluey shows are like, the episodes of Bluey are like 7 minutes long. You know what I mean? But they kind of catch on to that. Although they came out with new Bluey episodes, which were like 3 minutes long. So like mini Bluey episodes. And you'd be surprised how much content they can fit into those short episodes. That's a good show. I mean, they fit some good fucking quality in those short shows. But anyway, yeah, so we, if you're looking for a show if you've somehow managed to avoid Bluey with your kids, and I've talked about Bluey on here before. I like the Bluey show. But like, yeah, it's good because it's a short show, so you can just be like, oh, I'm going to throw on Bluey for a fucking quick minute. Like you got one more episode and then it's up, we're not like huge, I'm not against screen time, but I don't think that your kid needs to be on the screen. Like there's like people that show up to our house sometimes, like friends and stuff that will bring tablets, and you're just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like kids are here to hang out. Like, I've gone, like, you go somewhere, like, there's always that one kid, like, at certain parties you go to. Like, you go to a party or you go somewhere, and there's, like, a kid that fucking shows up with an iPad or a fucking tablet. And it's like, you just had to walk in with this? Like, they'll walk into, like, the party with it. And you're just like, what the fuck are we doing here? So our kids are like, they have their tablets. The tablets are really for like long car rides. And even on the long car rides, we're not like just like, oh, here, you know what I mean? We usually get to our breaking point before we're like, all right, fine, you can have the fucking tablet. And they don't usually ask for it, but it's just, I mean, they do ask for it, but it's a long time before they actually get it. But I also don't want them to like miss out on the technology and shit, because that's, they're gonna have to use it eventually. So they do know how to use them and stuff, but it doesn't need to be constant, and it just doesn't need to be. Anyway, I'm done fucking preaching about parenting. It's fucking I don't know why I even just brought that up, but I went to an estate sale today. So this was really annoying. So I had reached out to this lady. The sale was at like this place up the road. And it was only like 10 minutes away, which is fine. But I reached out to the lady to be like, hey, is there any chance you're going to be letting people in early? Blah, 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 blah. Like, she goes, we'll be there at 6 a.m. And if we're, once we get there, anybody can come in and shop. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I fucking get there at like 6:05 because my wife had to leave for work at like 6:20. So I'm like, all right, I'll get there. I try to get there at like 6:01. It's like 6:01, 6:02 or something. And they were like just getting there. So I was like, all right, I'll swing around and just give them a second and then pull in, because it was still dark at this point. So I pull in, the lady's like fucking with the lock trying to get in. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'm going to need like 20 minutes till this other guy gets here. I don't know how to get this lock off. And I was like, oh, I was really hoping to get here. And I was like, yeah, I reached out to you because you said you were going to be open. And she was like, so then I came back and half the stuff that they had pictures of wasn't there. So I'm like, oh, I saw like a picture with clothes. Like, where are all these clothes that were in the pictures? And it also said it in the description. She goes, oh, we didn't have enough room at the sale this time. So we'll be doing a sale next week, and it'll be in that week's sale. I'm like, oh, okay. So you just basically, I fucking hate, I've talked about it on here before, but I cannot stand when you advertise something and then you're just like nonchalant when you don't have it. You're just like, oh yeah. I was like, well, no, that's what I fucking came for twice. So I even said to her, I wasn't a dick, because, I try not to be a dick because I have to fucking see these people all the time. And so I'm just like, oh, man, I wasted 2 trips here this morning. And so then she like got my information, and then she gives it to this guy So this guy I met when I first started reselling, and I didn't know shit about reselling. And I bought a bunch of bullshit from this guy thinking it would sell. And I way overpaid. And like, I don't think he necessarily took advantage of me. I just think that that's what he was used to as far as the price goes. And so then, he, so he's like, oh yeah, I can probably get this stuff out tomorrow, and you can go. We have like storage units full of it. So I'm hoping that they fucking call me back, and they don't price their fucking clothes like ridiculously high like the other shit, because they don't really deal with clothes. They deal with more like antiques and like books. So I was just hoping to get like a good deal on some clothes, but of course these fucking retards could not just fucking couldn't put something in the ad that was actually there. That would be too easy for me, right? And then tonight I have to go. So there's a sale tomorrow morning. And this is really annoying because I've been texting with the person who's having the sale. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm planning on hoping that they'll just be like, you know what, let me just throw your name on. You know what I mean? But I'm like, yeah, I want to come, for midnight to get my name on the list. And they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Instead of just being like, hey, what's your name? I'll throw it on the list. You know what I mean? I would just do that. Be like, all right, listen, you texted me already. I'm going to throw you on the list. Instead, you're going to have a bunch of people fucking driving to this house at like fucking almost midnight. Like, what the fuck are we doing? So my plan is to just go over there like right after because my wife goes to bed at like a certain time for work. So I'm just going to, it's like a half hour away. I'm just going to drive over there tonight. But then once I get the number tonight, then tomorrow morning I'd have to go otherwise I'd have to get up early, get the kids together and take them in the morning. This way I can just go get my fucking name on the list. The guy said that as long as you're on the list, you don't have to fucking get there. He's like, I'd get there by like 8:50 or whatever, so you can get your place in line or whatever. But I'll get there earlier than that. It's just a matter of otherwise I'd have to get up and do the whole thing. So, but they have like a bin of GI Joe stuff. I mean, the stuff on top doesn't look crazy, but it's, he said that there's figures. I'm assuming there's probably some vintage clothes because it's like stuff from that kind of time period. So we'll see. I don't know. It might be a huge waste of time. And then this weekend, so I got a text the other day from this one of the moms from my daughter's school, and she's like, yeah, hey, we're having a birthday party for our daughter this weekend, and we were just originally going to only invite one kid from the class, so we weren't really doing a big thing. And then last night our daughter like insisted that your daughter come to the party, so if you guys can make it, blah blah blah. So my wife works, and I'm like, God damn, dude, I fucking hate like this will be the second party where I have to take my daughter to, and like I'm not like bitching about it. I'm not like complaining. I as soon as I found out that she got invited to this party, I was like, all right, we'll make it work, but I really want my wife to fucking try to get the day off. And so this fucking ADHD bitch, my fucking God, dude. I ask her to start I'm like, just text people. And then she's like, I'm obviously stressed out about it. You know what I mean? She's not worried about it. I'm like, you don't even have to go. And I'm like, I'm not even like, I never used to be like an anxious person for like social settings. But when it comes to my kid, I'm like, I don't want to fuck this up for my kid. I don't really know how to be like, I know how to be social without being like awkward. But I sometimes I feel like I can say stuff when I can, you know what I mean? I try to like be quiet until I know what I can say. So it's just almost always an awkward encounter. But I'm going to go. I'm not going to fucking get super high like I normally would. Like the last birthday party I went to. I mean, that was like right next door at the neighbor's house. So it was like, whatever. I'm going to get fucking high for that. You know what I mean? I'm going to see these people a lot. They can't just like, they got to know what I look like when I'm high. So they think that that's just the standard. I'm sorry for like fucking the sniffling and all the bullshit. It's going to happen throughout this episode. So anyway, so I have to go do this weekend. I'm not really too thrilled about it, but I also don't want my child to like, she always talks about these kids. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like she got invited to a party that no other kid got invited to, exclusive. Like, so I just, I'm hoping that I can do our family justice. My mom was like, I'll go. And I was like, no, I don't want you as a representative our family. Like, first of all, like what if they're Trump supporters? You know what I mean? Like that immediately would be like, she would be fucking having a fit walking. You know what I mean? She can't just be around people who have different political views than her. So like just on the off chance that these people were Trump supporters, she would be like, making it incredibly uncomfortable the entire time. Plus she just, there's no way. I don't want to trash her completely, but I just thought it was hilarious when she was like, I'll go. It's like, no, you're the last person that would be representing our family. No offense. I mean, it does sound like very offensive when I say it like that, but no, there was no way. I was like, I'll just go and be awkward. Like, I don't give a shit. I think that there's a husband involved. I'm hoping there's a husband and that he's just chill and he's like, hey man, you want to come fucking do something cool like while these kids are playing or something? So we'll see what happens. Who knows? But I don't know. Then I don't know, like, cause my daughter's 4. It's like a 4-year-old's birthday party. Like, do they expect me to just drop her off? Cause I don't even fucking know these people. I'm not going to just drop her off. Which means I have to go and sit and stay for like a few hours. I'm sure they're planning on people going to stay for a few hours. Luckily, it's just right up the street too. So if at any time I'm like, I just am ready to go, be like, all right, let's just go. It's only 5 minutes. So, but I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I'm not like fucking like agoraphobic and like, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't go outside. I used to be a lot better in social situations. But then I'm like thinking back, I'm like, was it because I was like drinking a lot and I just didn't give a fuck? Because like now I drink, but I'm not like, you know what I mean? It's not like, I'm not like, oh, let's go to this party and get fucking pregame. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's part of it. Is like when you're pregaming for shit, you don't really care. That's like once you're that crutch of alcohol is gone, you're just kind of like, oh fuck, now I got to do this with anxiety and shit, and then you add weed to the mix. I don't think I'm gonna add weed. I always say that, but my fucking weed store still has not gotten a new supply of jars. Like, they literally have told me, they're like, we have the weed, we just don't have the jars. I'm like, how the fuck is this possible that you do not have the one fucking thing that you need? You've got the stuff already ready to go, and you have no, like, you're not like worried about this. Like, this is like like, that's like 1/3 of your inventory is just not available because you don't have something to put it in. That's fucking absurd. I don't understand how you can have a business like that. And the problem is, it's like the best weed shop in town. There's one a little bit further, but they don't let you look at anything. So you just are like guessing. So I got some shit the other day that said it was wax. It was not wax. It was like dried fucking bullshit. Not like the dried wax. Like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It wasn't like that shit. It was not what it said it was. And even in the picture, it showed a different thing. And it was like, so it just, like, I want them to have the stuff in. I just want to go back to my weed store. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Why they can't just get jars. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me how they just cannot find the jars. So yeah, last weekend there was not a single sale. Not a one. I don't think I saw one sale last week. I'm trying to think. I've been selling off a lot of those Masters of the Universe toys. We worked on a puzzle, man. It was like, we have these puzzles because I've gone through pretty much all of like the stuff that I got from last summer to sell. So, I haven't been going out as much. I haven't like buying storage units just because, well, one, they're so fucking expensive these days. Like, everybody and their mother is trying to buy storage units, and they are not good at it because they overpay most of the time. Like, anytime I go to bid on a unit, it's already overbid on. I'm like, there's nothing in this unit that you can see that should convince you to pay this much money when you don't know what's in you know what I mean? It's like, you're just gambling. So there's just a bunch of degenerate gamblers that are doing fucking storage lockers now. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll just go through my fucking death pile. And like, there's plenty of ways to get inventory. I'm not really worried about it. Like I said, I was taking a little break after the holidays. So I pretty much, my vacation is kind of winding down. But I've still been like listing shit and stuff. But like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I need to buy a major buy. So I was hoping that was going to happen today at this estate sale, but no, not the case. So I'm hoping that tomorrow that they will that this sale will be worth it. If I go tonight and I'm already like 4th on the list, there's no fucking point. You know what I mean? But if I go tonight and I'm 1st on the list, then when I get there, I can just be like, all right, like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking get there and I'm going to take a picture and immediately send it to the dude. Be like, all right, if I'm 1st, like, I'm planning on getting there before 12 p.m. to wait. And then once he puts that list up, I'm just going to go up and be like, and hope that I can talk to him. I'm hoping he'll be there because I'm assuming he's like working at the house and then he's just going to go put up the list at like midnight or something. I don't understand. I really don't get the idea behind advertising that you're putting a list up at midnight. I don't understand it. Like, you want people, like, random fucking people coming in the middle of the night? That doesn't make any sense to me, but I know that every fucking sale has a different fucking thing. Like, every time. It would be funny if I got there at like 10:30 and he's like, oh, you're here first. You could put your name on the list. And if you want to just take what you came for now, that would be nice too, but I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah. Fuck, sorry, there was a big bang. So yeah, the other night, we hear like a bang in our house, like something fell over. And so I woke up and my wife damn near like fell over the bed, like was trying to climb out of bed over me to go check on the girls. And like, this is how our brains are. This is how her brain works and how my brain works. She like leapt out of bed avoided the first monitor, jumped over me, past the second monitor, ran out of the room, like towards the kids' room. And like, I get it. Yeah, you hear a big noise, like, right. But there's a reason that you have the fucking monitors. So just look at the monitors. Oh, okay, the kids are good. But then my brain goes to, there's an intruder. You know what I mean? And so she's already fucking running through the halls of the house like a fucking psychopath. And so I have to so then I didn't really even need to get up, because at that point it was like, all right, well, she's dead. If it's an intruder, she's dead. I'm just going to go to sleep. They'll blame this shit on me anyway. No, I'm kidding. But then I go in and it was just like a ladder that we had like taken the bunk bed apart. And so it was like the ladder that we had like left somewhere. But yeah, I'm just like, that was your first instinct to just sprint past not to check the monitors, which is what we have them for. It was to like, so that's just funny. I guess it's a man brain and a woman brain. My brain was like, oh shit, intruders. You know what I mean? Like, but like as soon as she ran out there, she was like, oh, it's just a ladder. You know what I mean? But it was like, it could have not been a ladder. So I thought that was kind of funny. Her instincts are a little bit silly compared to mine. Because I was ready to fuck somebody up. I was like, ooh, I hope I get to fuck somebody up. But alas, it wasn't my time. All right, let me pick out my list here. That was like my loading music, apparently. Oh, so this was fucking really annoying. So oh wait, this is two things. Sorry. I'm completely screwing up the timeline. So this one was, this dude posts a picture of a lot of comic books that they're selling, and he's got one picture, one of the top of the comic book, so you can't see any of the books except for the top two comic books. Says he's got like 200 books, and I just go, hey, what's the lowest price you'll take? So he's asking 100 on the lot. He goes 80. So I'm like, I talked to my buddy. I'm like, hey, like, what do you think of this lot? Like, what would you gamble on? And he goes, oh, I'd ask for more pictures. He always fucking says that. And I'm like, have you ever had somebody on Facebook who you've asked for extra pictures and they've obliged without being a complete fucking I don't want to use the word retard right now, because I'm about to use it 50 times at the end of this fucking episode for what I'm going to talk about. But this fucking guy was, all right, he was a lazy bitch, because this is what I called. So he posts these pictures and he just goes, I go, is there any way you can take any other like pictures of what, like a couple of pictures of what's in there? He goes, no. And I go, all right, well, and mind you, the whole time I'm being polite. Please, thank you, may I, yes, no, whatever. So he goes, no. And so then I go, well, without seeing any pictures, just based on the one picture that you have, I said something like that. I was like, I would offer 40, which is half of what he's asking right now. And he just goes, he gives me like a thumbs up or something like that. And so I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't a yes or a no. So I'm like, I know he's going to say no, but I'm just going to I'm going to just see where this goes. So I go, does that work? I can come today with cash. And he goes, fuck no. So that's when I'm like, all right. Oh, we're not being polite now, okay? So then I go, so what do I say? I say, well, then take more pictures, you lazy bitch. Or take more than one picture, you lazy bitch. I said something like that. Definitely called him a lazy bitch. And I mean, obviously this is typing or whatever. But I just and then you do the thing where I had like a moment where I was like, I went like full internet troll, like went on his profile, like looked at his ugly kids. I was like, oh, his kids are way uglier than mine. That's the first thing I look at these days. Is I'm like, what do your kids look like? Oh, your kids are ugly as fuck. But I would I thought about it. I'm like, oh man, I just went to a place of like rage, because it's like, you're selling this thing and you have one fucking picture and you value your time and somebody else's time so little that you can't be bothered to take 5 minutes of pictures to show somebody what else might be in this fucking lot of comic books. So yeah, and then he's got like all this bird watching shit on his profile. I'm like, bro, you're my age. Why are you fucking into birds, you fucking faggot? Like, what the fuck are we doing? So anyway, this lazy bitch. So then he replies after I call him a lazy bitch. He goes, well, maybe I'll just use them for toilet paper. I go, okay. Weird remark. Then I fucking reported all of his listings and gave him a 1-star review. That's the thing that people don't realize is if you talk back and forth with somebody long enough, they will like give you the opportunity to rate them. And if you're a fucking asshole, I'm going to give you like 1 star. I really do not give a fuck because you're really being a lazy bitch. Hey, you're a lazy bitch. That's fucking. So that was fucking fun. I sent a picture of a screenshot to my buddy. I was like, well, that worked well. That went about as well as I fucking thought it would. So then, oh yeah, quick update. So just recently I have a couple of return things going on and like eBay stuff. So a few weeks back I talked about this guy who had bought a shirt and he told me that I had sent him the complete wrong stuff. And so he's like telling me, I'm going to get my money back, blah, 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 blah. And like, it was just, the whole thing was completely sketchy. You could tell he was fucking lying. You could tell he's full of shit. It wasn't until I called him out about being like, oh, I'll fucking, report this for internet fraud or whatever. It wasn't until I said that this dude was like, oh, I found this other package that had, a label on it. You know what I mean? It wasn't until he thought that there was like actual trouble involved that he kind of backpedaled and was like, oh, now there's this label on it that it wasn't there. After we had gone back and forth a bunch of times, he didn't see this label, a fucking giant label on the backside of this fucking package. So, he swears up and down he's going to get his money back and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, eBay just closed that case in my favor. So I was like, fuck yeah, dude. They didn't return it, whatever. So perfect. And then I had another one that eBay removed the feedback. I was like, whoa, man, I'm on a roll. So eBay removed the feedback. So this customer had purchased pants from me. And so this is apparently eBay does check this shit. Because I had 2 customers both return shit for things that said that they were too small. One of them was a Halloween costume. They tried to return it for being too small. So it was a Halloween costume. They didn't even try to return it. They just like sent me a message asking me to return it, that they wanted to return it. And when I told them that they could return it, or they wanted a refund, I think. I don't fucking even remember. But anyway, they left like negative feedback, or they left neutral feedback being like, something. But eBay wouldn't remove it. But this one, they were like, they removed, and it was also a sizing issue. But I had I usually put the measurements in, but the Halloween costume, it was like almost impossible to get accurate measurements because it was of the weight of the costume. You know what I mean? Like the measurements wouldn't have made any sense. Like there was no way to it was like a round costume almost, like clearly a kid's costume. But anyway, they didn't return it. They just like were pissed that I asked them to return it for a refund. I don't know. So eBay allowed that feedback to stay, but they removed the one. Somebody bought Abercrombie and Fitch pants from me. Now I'm pretty sure. So the pants got delivered to me and it never got scanned in as delivered. I think I talked about this, and I was going to just hang on to them and just be like, let me just see what happens. But it just kept going. And like, I reached out to eBay and they like, were like, yeah, no, there's nothing that you need to do. And so like, it was just, the whole thing was just like, I know this is going to end up being annoying somehow. So I just did the refund because I wanted to see if eBay would like just step in and fucking handle it and be like, all right, we'll fucking take it. You know what I mean? Because I've lost so many packages of mine that eBay like would cover for the other person. But anyway, so then I return it, give them the refund. Obviously, I'm not returning their shipping money because they're fucking dumbass. There's like plenty of measurements, and they were men's shirt clothes. Like I told this to my wife. She's like, she was talking about how she's like, oh, well, if it's a woman, I mean, women return stuff all the time. I could see that how that would happen. And I go, these were guys' pants. And she goes, oh yeah, then they know. And I'm like, yeah, exactly, dude. Like I know my pant size. You know what I mean? It's like I know, and they were like if they were claiming, so they sent them back with the little cufflinks rolled up in the bottom. So I'm pretty sure they just wore them out for a weekend and then returned them. You know what I mean? It's like essentially renting your shit. But whatever. I mean, it doesn't happen as often as you would like to think. But anyway, they left me a negative saying like pants didn't fit or something like that. So I reached out to eBay and like expecting them to be like, oh, go fuck yourself. But I go, hey, these people returned this thing. I refunded them. They said it didn't fit. There's plenty of measurements in the listing. It shows them measurement sizes in the listing, like, and they removed it. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. They actually removed it. And then almost immediately, right after that, I had another customer return something. So it comes in. And it was, I sent them 7 of like the NECA brand horror figures. Did I just say that wrong? Horror figures? Yeah, horror figures. Like, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ghostface, those guys. So I sent 7 figures with a bunch of accessories in a sealed like plastic bag. The day after they got it, they started a return. They shipped it back right away, which was like, that's always a red flag to me. You know what I mean? Like these are collectible figures. You don't just get it and then immediately ship it back out. You know what I mean? And, so yeah, so they get it. They immediately ship it back out. So I get the box and immediately I'm like, all right, this box is a little fucking like fucked up. It's got some issues here and there. Like, what the fuck? So I open the box and there's one figure loose on top of a grocery bag. Mind you, I sent them in a clear saran wrap bag, almost not saran wrap, but like that clear plastic, like the bread bags or whatever. I buy a bunch of those bread bags. And so I sent them in that. And because there were so many figures, like the only way I could think to get them there safely was like to just press them as close to, like not press them together, but like tape them together so that they weren't moving. You know what I mean? So they're like one unit and then put bubble wrap and all that shit. Because otherwise it would have been like trying to wrap everything individually, you know, would have not made sense. So send them off. Whatever, it comes back and it's in grocery bag. There's one figure on the top, and then I open the grocery bag. It's missing 2 figures, so 2 of the figures were gone. One figure smelled like a dog had fucking chewed it up, and looked like a dog had chewed it up. Its arm was like chewed off. The head was broken off, so those heads you can pop back on and off. This one had a broken head off, and it had like half the piece stuck into the figure. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to eBay. I'm like, I don't want to return them any money. Like, this is clearly clear fucking fraud. And of course, eBay's like, well, your options are to refund them half the money, or you can report them or ask us to step in. But then you lose that option, which basically means that you're going to have to pay this fucking person the full amount because we're going to side with them regardless of what evidence you provide. So of course I'm like, this fucking shit. So I should have called the fucking eBay before refunding these people, but I could still sell the other half. So I refunded them half the money. It was like, whatever, fucking won't deal with it. And I had asked the person, like, just to try to like scare them into maybe returning the shit. But I had said the same shit, like, oh, this, you know, at some point it appears that mail fraud has happened because this is returned without this, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, I could check and see if I still have it. But my son said some of them arrived messed up. I'm like, no, you're full of shit. So this lady was full of shit. So I reported her to eBay, fucking got half my money back. I don't even know what to fucking do at this point. I'm just like, whatever. So yeah, that's my 3. Like, eBay was annoying, eBay was cool, eBay was annoying, and yeah. Yeah, New Year's just finished. We didn't really we don't usually watch much of like the ball drop stuff because we'd watch it a little bit just to watch like the fucking idiots who like go, and I saw some video this year of like them opening the gates so you can run up and get a space, and like I don't understand why the fuck you would waste your time going to that thing. Like my cousin was telling me he went years ago, and like my cousin's the last person I would have expected to go to anything like that. And he was like, yeah, it sucked. And like normally I'd be like, well, if it's coming from you, like I would probably be skeptical. But he was like, no, it sucked. Like you couldn't leave to go piss. If you left, your spot was gone. So like you basically just had to like stay in one spot. He's like, people were wearing diapers and fucking catheters. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and it's usually cold and like nasty out. So we watched a little bit of that, and I was like, I can't with this shit. So I watched a little bit of the Twilight Zone. But I think it's always funny, like the next day, that people that like are newly sober, they always like to post like, there's always a few of them that are like, oh, the best part about waking up today was that I wasn't hungover. It's like, yeah, we do. Most of us do that all the time. You know, you know what I mean? Like your problem was that you were doing it all the time. Like most of us, it's like, yeah, that's the one day that we are hungover, or like one of a few days that we are hungover. I wasn't hungover the next day. I didn't drink nearly that much. I don't have a fucking drinking problem. I have a weed problem, not a drinking problem. And my weed problem is that they don't have the fucking jars to give me my goddamn weed. So yeah, but that's always funny to me. And then the people that are like, don't drink and drive. It's like, oh, fuck, man. I was thinking about drinking and driving, and then I saw your fucking Facebook post, you know, as I was pre-gaming, and decided that I would fucking get an Uber. Like, just fucking, can we stop? Like, who? Nobody is looking at your Facebook and being like, oh, you told me not to drink and drive. All right, cool. You know what? Guy I fucking went to high school with and played 2 downs of football with. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, this fucking nose is so stuffed up. All right, back to the list. It's, I don't know why I just thought about this the other day. I got fired for, like, I was thinking about my old jobs, and like, you know, this will be my 6th year as a reseller. And I was just thinking, like, you know, the last job that I had was probably the best job that I could get in my circumstances, you know what I mean? Without like college education or anything like that. And, so I was just thinking, like, I got fired from this job for refusing to go to meetings. It wasn't even like, it wasn't that I was like, oh, I'm not going to meetings. So let me set the stage for you. I don't know why I'm telling this story right now, but I just felt like telling this story this week. A little filler episode, a little bit of filler for you. It's kind of related to reselling. It's kind of how I got into reselling. So originally the boss that I had at this job, like, I had a history of not trusting this dude about anything, because once you lose my trust, that's it. You got to work to get that shit back. So there was one day that he says to me, he's like, he texts me or he calls me. That's right. He called me. He had these like weird tactics for getting people to do what he was very manipulative. And so he called me and he knew it was my day off, and he goes, hey, we're thinking of doing a team meeting tonight, team dinner. If you can make it, great, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, you know, I think at first he asked me if I was doing anything, and I think I said no. And he's like, oh, well, we're having a team, blah, 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 blah. And so, like an idiot, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go. Because at this point, I was like, you know, still fresh working there. And I get there to the dinner, and I had become friends with Jacob, who's been on the podcast. I had already become friends with him, and so I got asked by the man. So anyway, that's not relevant right this second, but it will be relevant in a second. So I go meet up with this dude at some Mexican restaurant, and sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. He had called me, asked me about dinner or whatever. I said, yeah, I'm fine, I can do dinner. Then he texts me like an hour later and he goes, hey, change of plans. Nobody can make it to team dinner, so it's just going to be me and you. So essentially he's like, hey, we're doing a team dinner. Can you go? Yeah. Okay, great. Calls me back. Hey, there's no team dinner. It's just a dinner with me and you. So essentially the first call was to make sure I didn't have anything planned. The second call was like, okay, well, now I know you don't have anything planned, so now I'm going to tell you that we're going to be doing dinner together. So I go and I get there and like he's like, oh, I can buy all your food, but you just have to pay for your drinks. And so the whole dinner is like him just basically introducing me to these random people at a Mexican restaurant near his house. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. Then he's like tries asking me about, so at the time I was hanging out with Jacob a little bit. You know, we had just become friends. And he's like asking me about like, you know, stuff with me and Jacob. And then he's like trying to basically shit talk him while we were at this dinner, which was really bizarre. So I was like, all right. So I left. I mean, I didn't like storm out. We finished or whatever. And I left. And then after that, I just remember being like, what the fuck was that? So the next day I was like, what the fuck, guys? Like, why didn't anybody go to the team dinner? And they go, what team dinner? And I didn't hear about a team dinner. Nobody else got invited to this team dinner. I'm like, and this guy just didn't think I would ask anybody. Like, this was how fucked this dude was, like, mentally in the head. He doesn't work there anymore, I don't think. But yeah, this dude was a fucking like what the fuck are you doing, bro? So right off jump, I'm like, I don't trust anything these fucking people do. You know what I mean? And so like a new manager was made, and then like, you know, so there's a whole thing back and forth about me going to meetings. They'd be like, do you really have to come to the meetings? I'd be like, are they mandatory? They'd be like, no, but I'm like, all right. They would give you like pizza. Like, you're not even giving me gas money. They'd be like, you could come and you can clock in. And so clocking in for a position that is commission when you're not there to sell stuff negatively affects you as somebody who's in sales. So they would be like, well, you can come and you can clock in, but essentially you're going to be fucking yourself. So it's like, all right, so these meetings aren't mandatory because we'd be getting paid a flat rate for them rather than, oh, we're going to be fucked if we don't, you know what I mean? And then so finally I'm like, all right, I'll go to a fucking meeting because they kept bitching. They like fucking asked me, begged me, whatever. So I get there and it's like, you know, it was a meeting before the store opened. So we were like going to do the meeting and then open the store. So I get there and I'm like, we sit in the circle and there's this chick who like, so I was supposed to be like a lead trainer and they were going to send me to get trained. And like, this was right before my wife was about to have a baby. Like my wife was probably going to have a baby soon. And we had a miscarriage. So this was like, I think during our miscarriage when this all happened. So we were planning on having a baby. And so like, I was like, oh, I can't be like gone unless it's worth it. So I asked him, I'm like, am I going to be making more money to go do these trainings and do all this bullshit? Like I was essentially having to go stay in like a hotel and shit somewhere like a couple hours away. And so he goes, well, you won't get paid less. I go, so I'm not getting paid more to leave my pregnant wife and go train a bunch of people? And he goes, no, well, you won't get less. And I go, all right, well, I won't be doing it. So I think ever since then, that was kind of like where our relationship started to get a little rocky. And this chick ended up taking over like that role that I was going to have. And like everybody fucking hated this chick. Nobody liked working with her. She was a pain in the ass to work with. She would like, because you work sales, so like you want to take the sales customers. She would like try to skip sales or like people that she thought were going to be an issue to try to steal sales customers. She would like sit in the back and not take any customers until she decided to take like people just fucking could not stand her. And so she was put in a position of power and she was even more annoying. You know what I mean? And I just pushed back even more because I'm just like, you know, I'm not like, so anyway, back to the meeting. So we get to this is a long story just to get to this fucking part that I thought of the other day. And so I go to this first meeting after like, you know, a few years of dealing with this bullshit back and forth and nonsense. And this fucking bitch is like, all right, we're going to put Oreo cookies on our head and do an exercise. And I got up and I walked fucking me. I should have walked out with a cookie on my head. But I just walked out and I was like, that's my last meeting. I think I went next door to Starbucks, or I like went and waited in the back until they were done. I was like, I'm not participating in this shit. So I don't know why I just thought about, but and then I ended up getting fired. And like the reason that they gave for me getting fired was that I cursed, used harsh language or whatever the fuck they, inappropriate language at my manager, who also used that language to me. So I asked the guy, I'm like, so is he getting fired? And they go, no, he's being reprimanded. I said, so he did the same thing to me that I did to him. He did it first and he's getting reprimanded. And they go, yeah. So I'm like, all right, this isn't what it's about. You know what I mean? It was just about getting me out of there. And I mean, I'm glad it happened. Obviously, I went from that to doing what I actually like doing. I love doing this. You know what I mean? I haven't even considered doing anything. I've been doing this like 5 years. Normally when I'm in a job I can't tell you the last time I've had a job for 5 years. You know what I mean? Like a job that I complain about certain things, and most of it is just for content for the podcast. It doesn't really annoy me. I mean, half the stuff doesn't really annoy me. But yeah. Yeah, I just, for some reason, I just thought about the Oreo on the head, and that just like the other day I was just like, I can't believe they made me go to a fucking meeting and have me put a fucking Oreo on my head. Like, all right, hold on. Let me take a quick sip. I'm like, my nose is getting stuffed up. I'm almost to the end here. Okay. The other thing that was, and not really, this doesn't really have anything to do with reselling, but it's just another point I was trying to make as I get us to the last 10 minutes here. The online shoppers, or like the private shop, whatever you want to call them. So when you put in an order online for online pickup and they send those people in the stores, those people are getting out of control. Now I get it. We're getting fatter and lazier as a country, and people don't want to get up and get their own groceries, and they want somebody else to do everything for them. But it's getting fucking ridiculous because those people don't act like employees. They act like customers, and they act like even more aggressive customers than like, because they're getting paid to do this in a certain amount of time or something. I don't like that. None of them are ever helpful. They're always just in the way with this giant and the thing that they use to load these fucking things up is huge. And half the time they're like in an aisle, fucking like they just have they're not even aware of it. They're just like shoppers. They're just shopping. And it's like, you're shopping like a shopper and you're supposed to be an employee. And then you've got 2 fucking registers open. So the amount of like the employees that you could have had, like you're not bringing in, nobody is going to be coming in. So what am I trying to say here? You would have more people coming into the store if you actually had the registers open than having 2 registers open and everybody else in the store running around shopping for people. Like, just make people come in. It's definitely like, it's more work for the employees. They probably don't get paid more. And then on top of it, you've got people doing the fucking self-checkout, and you're not giving them a discount to do self-checkout. It's fucking so annoying. And then on top of that, you're taking up hella space when you're walking through the fucking store. I can't stand it. I don't know why I'm so bitchy today, but that shit pisses me off. Those things have got to go. These fat fucks need to figure it out. And the other thing too is that they aren't good at it. Like when they do it, they're not good at getting you the shit that you want. Like they'll substitute sometimes. If you put no substitutions, they won't substitute it. But half the time they'll put something in. It's like, I know you had this product. You have this product every fucking time I went in. And now when I ask you to get it, you don't have it. So we don't even do we're doing that pickup for a little while. It was like a COVID thing that they just kept. It's like all this COVID shit that like doesn't make sense without a fucking life-threatening illness needs to go. That shit just needs to be gone. I cannot stand it. It fucking drives me nuts. I know every week it seems like I'm bitching about the grocery store, but that's what I do, baby. I go to the grocery store and I fucking resell. What do you want me to do? All right, let's see. I got a treat for you at the end. I'm not quite there. Let's see. Did that check. All right, I think I've made it to the end. Okay, so I've talked a bit about, I have all these Lego minifigures like tons and tons, like hundreds of them. Like there's probably 300 to 400 figures. Some of them are complete. Some of them are like in pieces, not like, you know, but they're like body parts. You know what I mean? So these, so normally I don't like to post ridiculously priced things on Facebook just because people are just, they have nothing better to do. They really do not have anything better to do. And so I reluctantly, you know, posted, I was like, I'll put these up. It's a cash deal. There's hundreds of these things. I'll put 2,000. Obviously that's high. I know that's high. Obviously it's high. I also put best offer, 2,000 or best offer. But I think that uneducated people, this is where I'm going to start saying retard a lot. I think these retards, they see or best offer and they assume that I think I'm going to get even more than I'm asking. You know what I mean? Like rather than like less, I'm like, no, best offer means I'll take less than that. You know what I mean? I was trying to word it in a way that like, you know, didn't seem like I was expecting to get that much money. And so by the first like 2 hours, there was already like a bunch of comments. So normally what I do when I post shit, and it's harder on Facebook because it's not like the same algorithm or whatever as eBay. But what I do on eBay normally is I'll post it for a high price, see if there's anybody who buys it immediately. And then if not, I start to drop the price down in chunks, like $250 at a time, something like that. You know what I mean? If it's bigger, $250. You know, if I'm way off the price, I'll go down $250, sometimes $50, sometimes $100. It doesn't matter. I do like a reverse auction. I've been doing this for years. It sells me a lot of shit. And so essentially I put up $1,000 or $2,000, and it was just like comment after comment after comment. I'm going to read some of the comments. I took screenshots. I finally deleted the post. I was going to leave it up because like I thought it was funny at this point. But I also wanted to sell this thing. So I was like, I want to sell this. And then I thought about like, because there was like 50 something people who commented on it. So my initial reaction was like, I don't like to get into it with people on the internet because then I'm like going back and forth. It's just not worth my time. So I just give them the likes they crave. I'm like, here's your little like. Here's your little like that you came for. Oh, here's your little like. You said the same thing 50 other people said. You're so original. Here you go. Here's your like. Here's your like. And so I thought about like waiting until it sold and then being like, hey, here's a link. But I don't think you could post links. I think it would probably get removed. So I was going to just be like, hey, look up my store, eBay store, and to see how much this sold for, blah, 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 blah. And then just get a bunch of traffic to my eBay store, help with the algorithm. And then I had the idea of being like, all right, well, if anybody has any of these things and they think that they're as worthless as they're saying right now, I'll gladly come and get them for free. But again, I don't like to get into it with strangers on the internet. I don't do it all the time. I do it when it's like regarding inventory. But like at this point, I was like, I'm trying to sell the shit. At this point, these people all think I'm crazy, even though I'm like, this is not that crazy. Like one person, one fucking guy, and they kept coming back to defend me. I should have responded to that person. I just kept liking their shit too. But they were like, this doesn't seem that unreasonable. They're like, there's hundreds of pieces at like $4 a piece on the low end. Somebody's going to make money on this. Like, and then they kept posting like examples for me. One lady even changed her mind. So I'll start reading some of them. I don't know if I'll get through all of them, but I'll start reading some of them. So it starts off and some fucking dickhead named Rick says, your price is a little ridiculous. And then somebody says, just loose pieces too. No sealed sets. Yep, $2K to figure it out yourself and sift through all those pieces. Yeah, that's what there's a bunch of pieces and it's all Lego minifigures. Like, so that was the first one. It's like, okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Then I get LMAO. Then I get maybe they meant 20. What? I'm just going to read each one. What? I'd rather buy a brand new at that rate. You don't even know what you're talking. A brand new what? A brand new what? A brand new set of hundreds of Lego minifigures, some of which go and then the next person says, you'd be lucky to get 100. Okay. Somebody else says, bro, how high are you right now? And then somebody else says, Not as high as, that was a good comment. They're like, not as high as they will be if somebody buys it. Somebody else says this can't be real. Somebody else tagged me and says, who lied to you? I think you have one too many zeros in your price. Somebody else put $10. And then somebody put, someone's watched too much Pawn Stars. Like, this is what people sit and do all fucking day. These fucking people. They sit and they just comment while other people are selling stuff. And it's like, you're either at your job, and then somebody says they're worth money, but not that much. I'll give you 50. Charging $2,000 for kids' toys? Come on now. Yeah, okay. So you know that they're worth money, but you'll give me 50 and then try to shame me for it. This has to be a typo. Over 300 per pound, 330 per pound. Then somebody says, is this a joke? 2,000 for a bunch of Legos? Somebody else says, sounds like you over celebrated last night. Another one, I sold all of ours in a yard sale. Homie, a fair price for this is 200, and I would still wish you luck on that. Is this a typo? I already have an offer of 550, by the way. So I wish I had saved it. I wish I had not fucking deleted this posting, because I already have an offer of 550, which is way more than any of these fucking idiots thought that they went for. Considering, and then this is where somebody finally came with some sense. Oh wait, no, this wasn't it. What does this one say? Oh yeah, considering brand new sets average around 10 cents per piece and used sets fully disassembled in their original box are about half that or a little more, you shouldn't really expect more than 2 to 3 cents per piece for this. Weight has nothing to do with the value. I'm currently disassembling the 3-foot long Star Destroyer and will be happy to if I walk away with 300, originally 560. Right, but this is so when people post shit like that, it's like, yeah, you're talking about a specific set. People don't just pay. There's no one price for Lego figures. Every single one is priced differently. And then somebody says, who would just want the Lego people? Wow, what is my... This person actually came to a realization, which this was kind of funny. He said, wow, what is my 20-pound storage box in my basement worth? $5 million? And so then somebody else says, I have the same amount. I'll give someone for half the price. And then finally somebody comes in with a sense. Just say you could potentially get a measly $4 a piece. Multiply by 2,000. The math ain't bad, and $4 is low end. You would get a decent return, but it would take a few months. Lego figures are a hot collectible. And then they posted a screenshot of Lego collectibles. And then somebody else just comes out and says, think of how many hungry people you could feed with 2,000. Yeah, dude, my family I could feed with $2,000. What the fuck are you talking about? Somebody else just did a thumbs down. Some faggot fishing with a picture of him with his shirt off with his fucking hand in a fish because he thinks he's cool. Somebody else says, are they made of gold? Somebody else said 200. That wasn't a bad offer. But then the lady who was like, what's my stuff worth? 5 million? She goes, you know what? The person said the thing about multiplying 4 by 2,000. This lady says, you know what? That's actually true. I spent quite a bit per discontinued Lego person when I was Santa. And then posted another thing. I'm just realizing what I have in my basement. Yeah, you have a lot of money in your basement. Just because these fucking retards are telling you don't need to listen to them. Like, I'm waiting to get to the end because the last one was funny. So it's like somebody said, I gave away 3 times this for free. Okay, you're a great person. Somebody else put this post as a joke. I paid $60 for the same size tub, just saying. Again, these are minifigures, you fucking retards. Happy New Year, Perry. You gave us all a belly laugh to start ours. It's like, did you really laugh at... And it's anybody who writes in all caps, you're just like, okay, you're fucking retarded. Any luck yet, Perry? This was 12 hours after it was originally posted. I don't know if she was being insincere or if she was just being a cunt. Let me go back and see, because I think she posted twice. So let me see if she was actually being... Oh, and some people, the people that post twice, those people are the real fucking crazy motherfuckers. It's like, you thought your shit was so funny. Oh yeah, that was the same person that think of how many hungry people you could feed with 2,000. That was the same one that said, where did it say? Any luck yet, Perry? Yeah, that was the same one. Happy New Year's or Happy Fools or April Fools? Would you take 5,000? And then the same person who defended me earlier came back. The only fucking intelligent person, not retarded person in this whole bunch. Just a reference, it's a set, so I'd assume the figure itself is worth 15. How many figures in that tub? Exactly, buddy. Thank you. 2,000 cash preferred. LOL. Yeah, cash is preferred because I don't want somebody offering me trades. Somebody says, man, I'm going to tell my mom she has a treasure trove in her attic along with those things. I can't remember. Didn't see the end of it. But anyway, you get the idea. So just basically 48 hours of, and you know what's crazy is I posted that in 20 groups because that's like the max you can post on Facebook for your sales. I posted that in 20 groups. One group had anything to say. And it was like 50 plus comments. So I am kind of disappointed in myself for not saving that offer, for not keeping it up till today at least. Because I could have at least posted the offer and been like, well, I have an offer on eBay where people aren't fucking retarded. But yeah, I just, I gave up. I should have just fucking held the line and waited and then, but yeah. Anyway, that's the podcast. I got to go do some other shit. Check back next week. There should be another episode next week, hopefully. And then hopefully my voice isn't all fucked up. I don't think it was that bad though. And like, subscribe, tell your friends, and Happy New Year.